Ray, how special is this core group of guys? You've been together 5 years now.
Well, I think if you look at, you look at the banners around the arena, and you see back-to-back years of championships, and having one in '08, and then 4 years, 3 years in between, we hadn't won a championship. That signifies how much harder we've had to work and how much more special it would be to win this year, because we won 5 Atlantic division championships in a row, and to be able to still be consistent, be significant in the landscape of the NBA. Everybody else has changed who they are, from the Western Conference to Eastern Conference, but we've stayed consistent with who we are, and we've still managed to continue to win.
Rajon, you've already got one title. How much do you want to win another one with these guys? You're going to have a lot of chances to win titles later on in your career, but how about winning another one with this core?
It'll mean everything. To mimic what these guys said, not a lot of young point guards get the opportunity to play with these type of caliber guys and to contend for a title each year. So to get 2 under my belt at a young age would mean a lot.
Rajon, you've basically grown up as a player with Kevin, Paul, and Ray. You ever feel spoiled that you get to play with these guys every night?
Well, me personally, I don't realize until they're sitting out a game. You know what each guy and what they're worth. Each guy brings something different to the table. I tell them each y'all that I don't take their absence for granted. And right now, I want to cherish them. So I'm playing with these guys, and they made me a much better player.
Between the lockout, injuries, the situations, Paul, with Chris and Jeff, how difficult has this season been for you guys?
Well, I think this group is definitely special. I mean, this is a group that is never going to quit. I mean, you look at all the circumstances with the shortened season, the number of injuries, all the adversity that we've been through with the losing streak, the trade rumors, and everything. And then some way, somehow, us being too old, some way, somehow, we continue to overcome all those adversities and sit where we are today with another opportunity in position to win a championship. There's nothing more special than a group that you've been in a lot of battles with, a lot of wars with, when all the naysayers are talking about you. When inside that locker room, we understand what we got and we know what we're capable of. And it was a slow start, all the things happen, but we believe they happen for a reason, and that's why we are where we are right now.
Every year we came into the season, every new season, somebody said, is this the last go? Is this the last run? And, it seems like yesterday when we were battling with Detroit and trying to figure out, do we have what it takes? Do we know what to expect down the stretch? And now it's 5 years later, and, the answer to those questions is we do know what to expect. We do understand what we're playing for. So, regardless of what people say, we're the ones that give them any information and any material to go back and write whatever they need to write in the paper. So we've always stayed and kept it where we needed to keep it, and that's between those lines on the floor and in the locker rooms.
Kevin, with all the doubters out there, did that light a greater fire under you this season?
What you have to understand, man, is that the 4 of us have dealt with criticism since we came into the league, individually, collectively. It's no different. A lot of naysayers are opinionated, and that's how we view it, or that's pretty much what it is. It's someone's opinion. When you know the game of basketball, you know there's a flow, you know there's rhythm, there's chemistry involved. You start off with a limited training camp, limited days, limited everything. You can't expect something to be or the finished product to look like it's polished. Like P and Ray said earlier, man, we went through some rocky times. But it builds character, it builds second skin. This league is about what you can take and what you can give back. I think we took a lot of the lumps early. I think a lot of what you see in our league now is these teams starting to go through some type of adversity right at playoff time or right now at the later part of the year. And I can say that what we went through early actually has created what you see now. We haven't had a lot of practice time, but when we come in, we're a focus group. We know what we're trying to get accomplished in shoot-arounds. Doc has a kind of like a pattern to where he gives us days of rest, and then we know what to expect the next game. This is a core group. Can't just do that with any other group. And without the core, man, you don't have a lot. So, I've been fortunate to just be a part of this. So, who cares what naysayers say?
Rajon, you had a special team in '08. Obviously, you won the championship. But this core group has gone through so much this year. What's it been like battling through everything?
I think the core group of guys have stayed positive throughout the year. Earlier, guys were talking about trade rumors. We weren't going to finish Route 2-0, but we still believed. Doc brought us in the beginning of the year and asked if we can win the championship, and we all believed that we could. So that's been the goal moving forward since the beginning of the season, and we're still on that path to try to win a championship.
Paul, can you imagine going through this season or any season without Doc?
I think, he's the only coach that can pretty much deal with all this, this type of team. I mean, we have a lot of unique personalities, especially between us four. We're all different in our own way. And then you add on the other personality, a group of guys, and I think only a guy who's played in the league can understand this group. Somebody else probably wouldn't be able to coach us and bring us together like we are each and every year with new groups of guys and, kind of just every year bring us together and mesh all our personalities.
Kevin, you smile and laugh, but is there another coach who could coach this team like Doc Rivers?
I don't think so. Pop maybe. The things I hear about Pop down in San Antonio, he's probably the closest that we hear about, but no. Doc is a different breed. He's dealing with different breeds of guys. Like you say, the four of us are very different, but alike in a lot of ways. And we have other personalities in our locker room that are strong presence. And when you know Doc and you know what he's made up of, you will have to have that type of presence about yourself to be a coach, to coach a group like this. I wouldn't say this is it's an easy group to coach, but it's a special group. So that's why I laugh.
There were plenty of rumors all season long, especially at trade deadline. But Ray, can you imagine you or anybody else being somewhere else at this point?
I look back at my time on other teams, and it seems like so far ago, so long ago. And 5 years being here is, it seemed like it happened so fast because we played so much basketball and we won a lot of games. You look at trade deadlines. You think about guys that potentially could have ended up here and where we potentially could have ended up, and it never seems to work in my mind. And obviously the reason we're still sitting here because we're the guys that work. We're the guys that make this team go. We're the guys that make everybody better and make this organization look good, as well as we benefit from the organization. So you just don't make a deal. You don't do something just because you think you need to do it. This team can win games. These guys can win games, and we won a lot of them. And I think the organization knew that, and we know it as the four of us.
Rajon, tell me about playing in the playoffs at the Garden.
That's the only place I played, but I think it's like no other. It's just a certain feeling that you get, a certain chill you get through your body when you play your first playoff game, every playoff game in the Garden. It's a certain excitement you get, a certain energy that just comes inside of you, and you just want to perform well and do good for the fans and just for your teammates. They're always supportive. They've been here my entire career and been behind me my entire career. So we go out there every night and try to play as hard as we can.
Kevin, you've been in a lot of buildings in April, May, and June. Why is the Garden, why does it top them all?
It's the fans, man. The fans, like I've been in here as an opponent, and it feels like, what it is? It's like Fenway, man. Have you ever been to Fenway? If a fans who've never been to Fenway, fans are on top of you there. And that's what it feels like when you come in here. From the moment, you got 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds know the history of the game, know what your stats are, know what you shoot, know your team's record, et cetera, et cetera. And they're on top of you from the minute you come in here. The best thing about playing in Boston as an opponent is that the bus don't get to pull up and the people don't get to see you before the game till you hit the court. But as a player here, it's like sticking your head in the freezer, man. Seriously, like, it's a rush, man. This place is an adrenaline rush. We do a lot of meditation, a lot of distance from each other just so that we can keep a certain type of composure before the game. This place is as electric as it gets, man. I've yet to be somewhere. Maybe the music was a little louder or something, but as far as the people and the chanting and the stadium rocking, we in the back getting ready to come out and the place is rocking. No, we don't get that anywhere else. I've yet to be in the arena to where we was in the back and it felt like the hallway was shaking. No, I've yet to be in a place like that.
Paul?
I think for me it starts when I'm pulling up to the Garden. It's like, have you ever been downtown like during St. Patty's Day? Like, that's what it's like around the Garden during playoff time. I mean, you have people out there outside just excited to get into the game.
The weather's nice.
The weather's good. Everybody is, you know, kind of like you just feel the anticipation. Just, you know, people are outside partying, tailgate, selling T-shirts. You know, got their beer cups. They're just ready for the game. And then you get inside. I just remember one of my first times ever playing in a playoff game. We were in the locker room, and all the way in the locker room, you heard the whole crowd saying, "Let's go Celtics." And I never heard that before, you know, in the locker room before a game. And it was just like, it kind of just brought chills to your body. And, you know, I've been to a lot of places on the road in the playoffs, a lot of buildings that people would consider intimidating, but I've never heard anything like that from the locker room.
I've been in 2 other buildings, teams I played on, and you know, there's no comparison. You know, just like you know, these guys said, the fans, when they come into the building, it's almost like they're going to work. You know, they have that mentality like I'm in this game. You know, I'm about to have an impact on this game. And then if you look around every other building in the league, like here, we don't need MC, we don't need a DJ, we don't need a house band, because the fans do it. You know, they bring everything to the fold, and you know, it can be scary. You know, we get that adrenaline rush, but for other players, it can be scary, and they almost feel like, wow, we get ourselves into some trouble here.